Really good, man. Sad news, and it's crazy. Ex-Celtics player Fab Melo has been found dead in his hometown of Brazil. This is wild because he was, I think, number 22 as a pick for the Celtics when he first came out of Syracuse. Now, it's a little funny. This story's funny because if anybody was a close follower, they know that around the 2012 year when Syracuse did really well and actually, I think, pulled a title out. Um, there came up with the NCAA of academic issues where there were players that should have been sitting the bench that maybe were playing, and there was an academic cover up. And if I'm not mistaken, the coach at that time actually did take a fall for that. He did get suspended or something happened because as head coach, he was allowing people to pass through academics. So a letter that was written by Mello actually, I feel, uh, was used into evidence when this whole thing went down. So he has a pass with a collegiate issue, and he ended up making it to the NBA. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was part of a D League as well, dealing with the main red clause, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a D League team. And I think he has some type of affiliation in between it. But 2013, he was actually traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. And then I think before the season started, he was waived from actually playing. And then it came over and they actually sent him to the Dallas Mavericks. And he also didn't play before the season started. So he was going through some stuff. He was going through a lot with his professional career. So there was many different views and many different instances that played into this center's progress in the NBA. He was a center, and that was his position for the Celtics. So he, between three teams, he didn't have a very good showing. And I think it was estimated he played like 40 minutes in his freshman season for the Celtics. So his beginning in his career was not going savory. And there was a lot of things working against his progress. So I don't think he was very happy with the way things were going. And I don't know whether that was a defining factor in him playing for the main red clause at one point, a D League team, but I do know he was having issues. And, as of recently, it surfaced that he died of unknown causes in Brazil. Now, he's 7 feet tall. He's 26 years old. I'm no master, or I'm no pro at figuring out exactly what the issues are, but from what we can understand, it seems like his demise was a little bit, let's say that it was beneficial in the situation, because I know the case was over with his report, but he was trying to make progress in different things, and I don't know what support angles he had in making this progress. Now, the fact he was at home and it happened, knowing the condition of Brazil and just the way things go there, foul play isn't far out of the situation. This is a third world country that many things happen that don't get investigated. So it's sad for me to see someone so young take a toll. I don't see what could have caused it unless the stress he had because of the issues he's going through took a toll on him. Doesn't matter how young or old you are, stress can be a very deadly thing if positioned in a way it doesn't support you. So there's many different factors that played into this story that I need to get more information, because I know he was a dynamic person. He was a good person. And I feel he was a player that had time to grow into his role and time to progress. Freshmen don't always come off the bench and make 50 points a game or 40 points a game, or even have a debut of 30 points in a game like they're LeBron or Kobe. I don't know what their first game scores were, but to be a caliber player like a Dirk Nowitzki, like it's not to say he couldn't have done that, but he had progress and time to put in to up his game. But I do know things were funny with his season since leaving Syracuse and stuff. So that's pretty much where his problems began because I guess he was getting a pass through Syracuse, which was alleged. I do know that there was penalties handed out for what happened, including to him, suspension. So I'm not sure all the details around the case, but I do know he was an affiliate within it. So that brings up the question of what is actually going on, what happened. I would like to see them come out with the definition of what caused his life to be taken or what demise was created from the ending he faced. There's many factors that play into this. There's many side views to look at this situation because he was a completely healthy young man with, let's say, his whole career ahead of him. And from the span of him 2012 to 2015, from which he was dropped from his last team, that's a good while. That's a good part of someone's career. Within a 3-4 year span, someone could win a couple rings, as we've seen. So, I mean, his progress was halted in some way, shape, or fashion, but I don't know what caused him to die. I don't know what caused his life to be gone. We were waiting on the final reports about it. I'm waiting to see what actually occurred. And this is just a sad instance. And it should be an example to athletes that, you know, when you're coming into your career and you're making decisions, you always put academics first. I mean, yes, you're always going to be that person that's going to pursue your goal and your aggressive dream, like what you want to do, but always put your academics first. Don't play with your education because when you don't have sports to fall back on, you need some type of education in order to progress yourself in society or to even be an owner with the knowledge to do different things. So if you have all that money, you're going to have to know how to invest it, how to spend it, how to divert it in a way where you encourage more money to be made. So that's all knowledge. So if you're an athlete, chase that knowledge first and foremost. You don't want to be left on the backside of wondering what you're going to do or how you're going to progress or what you're going to do to be somebody more efficient in society when you don't even have the means or the dynamic equipment to go forward with your dreams. So there's a lot of factors that play into this that just make me feel a little uneasy about the way he went. I don't really know his associations or whether he kept in touch with teammates or something, but I do know that he's now deceased. There's going to be an investigation done on what actually occurred, but up until we get the information, there's nothing in solid that says he did this or this happened. So in a sense, that's an issue. We got to know what actually caused this young man's untimely demise, and how it can be effective to others to learn from it in a Brazil area, especially if it's some type of sickness. We got to see what's going on. I do think that he was a very dynamic player, and I feel that he has he has encouraged a lot, and he's going to continue to encourage and give light to a lot of different things in the future. But as far as it goes now, I don't see what actually caused this. In my personal opinion, I see impending foul play of some sort. I don't think he'd kill himself. He was not in a position to do that. He was still getting major looks from major teams in the NBA. So he was not out of the loop. He wasn't out of a career. So when we see these situations, it's more funny. Did he owe someone? Did he have something he had to do? What was he going through that he wasn't speaking about? We got to look deep into this story. We got to wait to see what the information is going to be. But, you know, until then, rest in peace, Fab Melo, 26 years old, center, all-around athlete, very efficient player. Very good big man. Very good to have on someone with hands up as a 7-footer that has the ability to jump and block your shot. So he was a major asset to the coming generations where you can train someone to be a star player, or you could keep them to be that player you put in to get the job done. So, I just want to say all respect to his family and friends, and in your time of mourning, Czar, all rights reserved here, send my condolences and my respect to you guys further and moving past this tragedy. And the fact that I hope he's set up in a way that you guys still are able to benefit and make future moves in your lives, even with his absence. So I feel for their family. I want to know what's going on. Let me know in the description below what you thought. I have also the article. And thank you for rocking with me. All rights reserved.